boys. That is enough padding from us. A big relief for me in particular, because talking rubbish, believe it or not, is not my forte. And here we go. This is your May Nova Cup semi-final. We have Big Bro Lil Bro on the left. That is Drachir and Isolde. We have the Tomato Boys on the right. That is Widderson and Kingdanzz. Game number 1. Let's go!
Yeah. See the Legion spells, so... 2,
No
1.
embargo.
Ooh, okay.
No embargo, so we're safe from the remake for now, at least.
Best defensive spell, decent offensive spell, and a good aura, so...
Ooh!
Instant
Ooh.
Fiesta. Has photo mask Fiesta?
Okay!
I don't know.
I mean,
Oof.
yeah.
Chaos Castle.
Oh, and this
Starts off.
matchup is so favoured for Drachir and Isolde now. I think if you're playing Fiesta and Cartel into a Castle player, like, you kind of have a lead right from the start of the game, I feel. This is very, very favourable. But Drachir now has to make a decision, right? Does he want to play Potamask, possibly the strongest opening in the game, or does he want to play the Consort? And it looks like he's going for that Consort.
Yeah, I think it's fine if he expects the enemy players. Like, if he wants to keep the pace himself, he should try and leak on one rather than just play Potamask normally.
Yeah.
I think it's better to open consort in this spot, especially since you expect Kingdanzz to king up. I think he always does it. I've very rarely seen him snail.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
You just get the pace advantage for sure.
And look, this as well, Lil Bro playing his trademark unit there, the Pack Rat Hunted.
Yeah, it's looking to be a pretty strong angler roll.
Mhm.
And he has his late game will, I guess, be just Scrawl Canopies for 14 and 15.
Yeah.
Which we all know can be impossible to leak.
Also worth pointing out as well that the Angler pairs very, very well with a Fiesta teammate, because, of course, you're going to be picking up on all of those extra stacks in the mid while you cover for your ally.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised he went for a rat, but it can still be a very powerful unit even in Fiesta games with leaks.
I mean,
Yeah,
this is
I
Isolde
think
the Rat King, right?
Yeah, and what I want to say is that in theory, anglers are nice with Fiesta because, you know, you get the stacks. But on the other hand, you kind of also want to have something that's strong early game because you need to cover, especially if you're being saved on. So Angler is a bit dangerous to play, and I think the Pack Rat gives him the ability to be strong and hold whenever he needs to cover for his mate. So I think it's a really smart pairing.
Yeah. I think that's a really good read of the game. Now, Widderson obviously forced to stay on 4 workers with his Castle Flower. He's clearly going to hold with his 220 value, but at what cost? Like, it's a 60 send, and yeah, sure, he's going to hold, but he stayed 4 workers, and now he's playing Flower Serpent, which I'm not sure is the best build.
Yeah, it's maybe got some troubles coming on wave 5.
Yeah, 5 definitely. Now, Drachir leaking 57% to the Snail, of course, but Lil Bro, he's ready with his Angler in the mid to collect those stacks, and this is just going to be full mana on wave 2.
Yeah, Bounty
That's pretty
Hunter,
juicy.
wave 3 incoming.
Yeah, wave 3 Bounty
Yeah, I
Hunter
don't even
is
mind
on
it.
the books.
I think it's good
Yeah,
to do it, honestly, in this spot.
Yeah.
his best gold for sure.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
he
Lil
might-
Bro?
Oh,
Lil Bro? I don't understand how you don't
surprised.
upgrade the Angler here.
I'm surprised he goes for this. It gives him better push on 4, but if he's gonna do this, then he needs to get the bounty on 4 anyways. So
Yeah,
but Widder is starving him, so it's fine.
yeah, it
Probably
doesn't
would have
make-
been a problem if he got a send here, I think.
Right, yeah.
I think he could just get the Bounty Hunter and then hunt his Pack Rat, though, rather than playing scared like this.
Nah, he could have gotten 60. If you get Bounty Hunter and have only the Shroom with it, you can leak very hard.
Alright, so Drachir receiving these double Snail here. He did get the Steed down, which is really good on wave 3, especially when it's self-buffing, but it's still not enough. 51% leak there for him, and Lil Bro, without the Bounty Hunter, is not going to be collecting any of these stacks here.
Yeah. But he is collecting quite a bit of gold. So he should be fine for this Dino Snail? Yeah, Dino Snail.
Yeah, but he didn't hunt on 2 waves in a row, which kind of hurts him a lot.
And he has 4 workers.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's fallen a bit behind in terms of total myth.
And
And
now
what
he
does he
has
do
really
now?
ugly gold.
Yeah, he's so close to just selling for Canopy, but he didn't send.
I think he's going to place a second angler here, right? I don't see what else he wants to spend his 40 gold on.
Yeah, unless he wants to shift, but
Lil Bro? Okay.
looks like he's just shifting for workies.
Yeah, I mean, at least he didn't hunt his pack rat here. He did send it underground for a second there, but changed his mind, and clearly that was the right decision because he's going to leak pretty badly anyway.
You think? I think he just holds.
Oh, he
Yeah,
has
the
really
Serpent's
nice
good
focus,
enough.
actually. The Serpent perfectly tanking half of the wave and not dying. Yeah, he is going to hold.
Juicy.
Okay.
And
That's
Drachir
a
with
good
a
Fiesta.
Giga Pro leak.
Oh, that's a really nice Fiesta there from Drachir.
Widderson is about to eat a pretty big send.
Oh, wow. Drachir has 120 Mythium.
Goes for
Okay.
the Hermit Lizard so that the Hermit doesn't get killed instantly by the Coiler.
That's a good shout. Yeah, I like it. I like the decision.
Widder
Now-
has to go for Seraphim Steed.
I think that's a really good answer, actually. I think Seraphim is one of the best units on 5. It all depends whether or not the Scorpion King kills this before it dies itself, right? Because he only has the Seraphim and now a Steed as his single target damage. The flowers are going to take a long time to kill that Scorpion King.
Yeah, and it's also a brute for Kingdanzz, so we'll see how he does. He's plus 40 to cover his mate, so
Yeah, I think
you would
he'll be
imagine
fine.
he's just
And the
fine.
Seraphim has gone down. I think he can never kill the
Uh-oh.
Scorpion King now, right?
Uh-oh.
He can never kill the small ones either. He's just
Think
leaking
this
the
is-
entire wave. He's just
Oh, uh-oh.
Oh,
Uh-oh,
he got
Widderson,
it.
that's a home
Uh-oh.
run. 106%. Sure, Genom Leak 61, but that was hashtag worth. Kingdanzz holding, of course. I don't think he can cover, though.
Yeah, if that Hermit was alive, this would have been so bad. It would have
Yeah,
just been away
right?
forever.
And I think the
Yeah.
Serpent only just barely killed the Hermit as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
last
Very
attack.
close. So, honestly, not that bad. Obviously, Drachir's got himself in a good spot, but so Kingdanzz has also got a great spot in the game. And it's just Widder and Isolde who are a bit behind.
Yeah,
But,
but having
we have the
said that,
Kingpin.
for Widder and Isolde to both be kind of neck and neck here, sure, they're at the bottom of the power score, but really that's favouring Widderson, right? Because he's the castle player and Isolde's on cartel. So if this game does end up going past wave 11, then sure, Widderson's pretty happy with the state of the game.
I will say Widderson's build has some upcoming troubles on the next 7, 8.
Yeah,
Are not going to be good waves for him.
he does at least have that coiler, right? It's kind of his only good unit. If we look at this, the flowers are terrible, the steed is terrible, the treant is not really good, Seraphim obviously, but the coiler is really good on both 7 and 8, so we'll have to see how that works out. He's only getting an income send here from Drachir.
Yeah, and Drachir is actually scaling back into Priestess Mask. He
Yep.
did like a reverse Priestess Mask, so now he has the same power of that build, just with an insane worker push from the early game with Fiesta.
Yeah, and here we have the Kingpin already in Kingdanz's lane. He's only receiving a Cannoneer from Lil Bro. So
Very early.
very early. And wave 7 is like the key wave as well for those stacks, right? Because you can get the 20 stacks there on the wave.
Yeah, luckily he's already at 100 stacks, so that's not bad for a first Kingpin. And
It's
it will
not
let
bad.
him push and get some more pressure onto Drachir.
Yeah,
but
expect
I
King to
think-
full push now. He's not going to build again for wave 8, right?
No, he doesn't. I think it's a bit deceiving to say that Isolde and Widderson are sort of at the same level in power score because we have the pack rat for Isolde all the time, and
True.
he's gonna have his Kingpin very soon. So I think even though it looks good for Widderson, I think Isolde is gonna have his power spike soon and then sort of pull ahead a bit.
Yeah, his build is definitely going on a strong spot now with the Canopy. Even had the Coiler here to hold the Brute.
Yeah.
Really solid. Lil Bro doing good stuff. Drachir, 15
Getting a
workers.
Hermit.
Okay, I mean, the Hermit can be pretty clutch against a coiler build, right? Because it does make
Yeah.
the deep coiler 3-shot the wave instead of 2-shot.
It's pretty cheeky.
Yeah, but you do kill the deep coil, the hermit after killing half the wave, and where with a mole you just always 3-shot the wave because you can never kill the mole, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So hermit is a lot weaker than a mole.
Lil Bro shifting 60 gold. He may yet live
Keeping
to
his red
regret
up.
that.
I think he's okay, right?
Yeah. Should be alright as long
Canopai
as
just
he puts some
lives
good
an
tanking.
eternity, right? And
Yeah.
then he can just snipe the Hermit with the Coiler.
It does seem that way. The Canopy is dying now, but not before half the wave. And yeah, like you say, now the Hermit's going down. So he's just
Oh,
fine.
we're back to 2 shooting. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just fine. The Coiler easily wins this battle here.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
now
on the...
Widder's the only one without pressure.
Yeah. Drachir has 200 Mythium stored, Isolde 170. King does go for a send here into Drachir, who's looking really weak actually on this wave. And if the only thing he can add is a Berserker, I mean, he's going to leak here, boys, and it's not going to be small.
This Mimic
Yeah.
is gonna be eating good.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit, Genome is so greedy here. He's
Oh, no
minus
can?
170, but he doesn't get a send. If he just gets like a Brood or something, he's not
Yeah.
covering anything in mid. But now he's
Right.
just gonna cover, I think.
Yeah,
It's
he
all about
pushed
this
like
Canopy staying
crazy.
alive, eh?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what their plan is for this heavy push. Like, do they just want 10?
Yeah.
But Widder has like a Feta there.
I don't think Widderson gets his Fatalizer out, right? He's Castle. There are no big leaks on the... I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe
he's focusing the
Drachir
Mimic.
leaks too much.
But he doesn't kill it. Okay, it's only a 6 gold Mimic, by the way. We saw this really juicy looking split,
Unbelievable.
but the Mimic went left. I don't know why the Mimic went left, actually. The right side split is higher.
It's the mask thing. So if you send like a melee, so the snail, the mask hits the snail and freezes, and then the priestess has to walk up. Okay, so it is
Alright.
just a 10 send for Genome, and what I would assume is a 10 send from Drachir.
And Drachir has
Goes a
an
Witch.
insane amount of Mythium. Witch and DT
Oh.
spam here.
Ah,
Oh, Widderson.
and he has
Uh-oh.
no tier 1.
That
He
is
has no
very,
tier 1.
very unfortunate.
Oh,
He
he's
doesn't
not
want
willing
to
Oh,
sell for
yeah,
it.
I think you have to sell here, right?
Oh.
It's such a power difference between the
Yeah,
Feta
Yeah.
and two
Fatalizer
Berserkers.
and 2 Berserkers, and there is a lot of spam as well coming out in Drachir's send there. He wants to tie up those Berserkers, keep them off the boss as long as possible, let the Witch and the boss do the damage.
Yeah, and King has found 2
400.
disciples, so it's a decent answer as well.
Yeah, he very skillfully rolled those disciples here on wave 10. But let's have a look at Widderson's lane, though. He received a 420 Mythium send on wave 10, which is pretty rude if you ask me. And one of his Berserkers is down. The second one is going down now. I mean, he did really well, actually. He's done a lot of damage to that boss, but it's still 74% for Widderson. Kingdanzz does very well. He kills his boss, but he does leak an ogre as well. This is a lot of damage now on the side of the Tomato Boys.
Yeah,
Okay, hear me out. What you're doing now, if you're Drachir and Isolde, and I think they will do it, is full push 12.
yeah, I can see that.
They
Even
have,
with the
like-
flowers, Widder is pretty weak there. King has decent options there, but
They Protector, but Genome, PTA? I don't know. Like,
maybe
maybe
just
they actually do it.
half and half. I guess they don't want to all in this play, right? Because
Yeah.
Drachir has a really, really strong late game role with those Steed, Steed, Azeria, Berserker,
Yeah.
Mask. Like, he doesn't really have weak waves apart from maybe 17.
Yeah, I agree. I was just thinking because Kingdanzz has Kingpin and Bunk, and Widderson has Deathcap and Flower, and all those units are very, very good on 12 and very weak on 13. So the most likely outcome is that they will just end up shifting on 12 for whatever their solution is for 13.
Yep.
So if you just hit them with a 400 send there, they will just leak the entire wave.
yeah, it's the shadow game, shadow
The
wings
shadow
mind game.
play, exactly.
But Widder actually just chilling on 13 workers,
Yeah.
just planning to overbuild. Or
Well,
try
I
to
think they were
overbuild at least.
probably expecting an aggressive PTA play, exactly as Burnt was just talking about. So it seems that they read the game state exactly the same way that Burnt did and prepared accordingly.
Yeah, they're Giga on value, and Drachir and Genome are Giga not on value. So it feels like Drachir is forced to send 13, looking at its value.
Yeah. But I think they can also force Kingdanzz and Widder to send 13, no? They don't really have the ability to skip with Drachir being on 21 workers and Genome having 19.
Yeah,
Kingdanz has found an Avenger here, but he's not placing it. He's opting to shift
full
his 400
shifting?
gold instead.
Yeah.
Only
Yeah,
hit
there we go.
gate. What an unlucky guy. No
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Maybe you just play the Avenger in that case, though, right? Because you're guaranteed to get the Sovereign out for 13, which is good on 14 as well.
Yeah, it would have been reasonable to place it, I think, for sure.
Oh, are we senders? We're skippers.
My
Everyone's
God.
skipping.
Everyone's skipping.
Jesus.
I mean, these
disgusting.
guys have got balls of steel, right? I think if Drachir and Isolde had sent here on 13, Widderson and Kingdanz would almost certainly have died.
King is on some pretty insane value, to be fair, and
He
Winter's
is.
actually only 100 under. I mean,
I think they would do okay-ish against Descent. I'm not sure if they would die. And if they live against Descent, they
Then
might
they're back
have
in the
a-
game. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
back in the
yeah.
game. Whereas on wave 14, they're really going to struggle.
Oh, he has the healing.
Kingdanz is just
entry.
reading the game. He's just like adding 2 badges and
Yeah.
shifting 400 gold, being
Wow.
minus 500.
And
What a
that's why
guy.
that is why he's the king, right? Like he could quite easily just lose the game here with a play like that, but no, he's read the game correctly. He prepares for 14, he shifts all of that gold. Let's see if it's enough to keep them in the game here.
Doesn't really hit a great answer for 14.
Ooh,
The Gatling gun's
okay.
pretty good, but it's really hard to get that like reverse engineer into a gun, right? If you've not been building for it the
Yeah.
whole game.
I think he'll be okay with just going Iron Skills and the Haven, maybe? Or even just the Star Color for some more damage. He has enough options.
Protector on the Haven, yeah, so that's a very solid tank line he has
Great
now.
send by Isolde too. Centaur to the right for the arcane units and the Ogre to the left for the bunk.
Yeah, really, really good presence of mind there.
Wait, he's
gonna
actually
have-
going a second Centaur after Inco?
Okay.
Or
he's
no,
going
he's
second
the
over.
Hermit, okay.
Okay,
He's
okay.
calculating.
But the Centaur's still going right. Yeah, it is. So the Centaur's going to shred his arcane tanks over here. The Ogre's wailing away on the bunk on the left. If we look, obviously, Drachir and Isolde, they both just receive Income King, so they should be fine. Let's have a look at Widderson. It looks like he's leaking pretty badly. And Kingdanz with that big balls shift on wave 13. It is paying off extremely well for him. He's not going to hold, but man, he's doing really well here.
Yeah, that should be enough for them to live this send, and
Yeah.
I think Isolde definitely gonna recognize he got 460 after 11 to 14 or 10 to 14.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think he might have a clue as to how many workers Witter has.
Yeah, none, basically.
But what are King and Widder doing now? Is it 17?
They look
mean-
like they want to skip. I don't know if they can. I guess it depends on if King rolls something good.
Drachir and Isolde both did press the worker button at least a little bit, right? They haven't gone all
Yeah.
in there, but they still
Doesn't-
maintain that worker lead over the Tomato Boys. And I don't think anyone's going to send 16, so I probably
Yeah.
expect to see a race 17. But Kingdanz is really good there. He has the
Really
Star
good.
Caller gates, the Kingpin. Now he's found an antler as well. He's got the Protector on the Haven. 17's just his best wave in the game, it seems.
Yeah. And looks like Drachir and Isolde both built a little bit for 16. Drag with the prep tantrum and building some infiltrators. Not sure if they are worried about 16 or are they just trying to mind game them.
I think it's fine to prep the tantrums for 16, so you can prep tantrums for 17 on wave 16 because you're strong.
Yeah.
All right,
And
so
Widderson did
Drachir.
push.
Drachir with his
Yeah.
700 gold. He is just going to prep 3 tantrums. Yeah, that's what it looks like exactly what he's doing. Okay, only 2 tantrums and an alpha male. That's respectable as well. And he has that samurai soul in his role as well, so he can just spam a bunch of wanderers next wave.
He's giga low value as a result of his push. Probably he's doing no holding considering he's minus 700 already.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
his units to begin with are very weak.
Widderson is definitely not holding wave 17, but Kingdanz is going to be on good value with really good units. He's playing Chaos. Let's see if he rolls the Haven or the Boar here.
Mudman?
Boar.
Boar,
Yeah, what a
alright, yeah.
skilled player. Very skillful,
Beast.
Kingdanzz. Well done.
Good job.
Well, I'm
Keep it up.
assuming. I think he could just hold. Yeah, his value looks pretty good.
Yeah, his value's pretty good. He just rolled maybe the best unit he could find there with the red eyes.
Yeah, I feel like you will want to see if people live through this send, it'll probably be Isolde Sui on King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for
Because
sure.
Witter has just no chance now. He's
Widderson
gonna leak huge to
has
the
no game.
send.
Yeah.
The castle kept him alive for until 14-ish, but now he's after not being able to hold on 13 workers, you just don't have enough resources to keep playing
Yeah.
the game.
Widderson just desperately spamming the tree ants with the first wave bonus damage and damage reduction, but there's just no chance. He's going to leak
Yeah.
massively here to this send from
King
Drachir.
actually doesn't go for the board, just goes for the white main
White
King
main?
Claw slot, which is
Yeah.
very
Okay.
strong.
Yeah, it's
Would be even
respectable.
better if it was on the Star Color somehow, but lost that slot unfortunately.
Yeah. All
Let's see
right.
if
So
he can hold and cover.
the sends are much bigger on the side of the Big Bro Lil Bro team, and as a result, Widderson is already leaking massively, it seems. But Kingdanzz, just look at this. He is holding, right?
Yeah, it looks like he's holding
It's
in
it's
with
kind of
his whole
close.
board.
Yeah, he's got all of the gate creeps alive.
Yeah.
Drachir is holding as well, so it's
Yeah.
just they
Yeah.
are giga chilling. Even if they don't win here, it's fine. But I think King and Witter just die.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
Widderson's
quite a
leak
bit.
was too big. Kingdanzz, although he hold his own lane, he is not able to cover, and as a result, good game, well played, and the Big Bro Lil Bro team take the first game in the series.
Yeah, they just take out the Fiesta and they just get the huge lead early game, and they kind of never let it go.
That air
Yeah.
horn was absolutely fantastic, Burnt. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Take a quick look at
I
this
think
graph,
it's-
guys, because it looks like Big Bro Lil Bro were just like in the lead in this game from start to finish. A couple of dips on wave 3 and wave 6, but other than that, they were just comfortably ahead in this match. And let's have a quick look at some of the key moments. Obviously, we saw the game-ending play there on 17, but there was a big leak on 14 as well, bringing King and Widderson down to 19% HP. Despite being over 3k value on both, the sends were just so big, they couldn't hold there. And yeah, as a result, Drachir and Isolde able to go for that big 1-2 punch, close the game out on 17.
Yeah, and I mean, you definitely see the power of workers, right? Like even if you're pretty low on value, if you don't think your opponents are gonna send you that much, then they're able to just generate not only like huge send differences, but also it just lets them scale even harder, right? Like their incomes were just miles ahead.
Yeah.
After their hard push and sends.
Yeah. If you look at wave 14, where the big send came out from both sides, Isolde is actually ahead of income compared to Widderson, while Isolde was the cartel player and Widderson the castle player. So yeah, pretty much exactly what you said there. Just because Widderson was forced to say so low workers for so long, he just wasn't able to generate that income that he needed to scale into the late game.
Yeah, but I think this was also a bit of a quote-unquote build order difference, where
Yeah.
Drachir picked Fiesta, sends into Widderson, who's castle, and Widder has one of the weird situations where you can't push with Flower, and he had to go Flower Serpent on 2, which is just horrible, and that set him up for failure for wave 5. So he's playing from behind the entire game, which is
Yeah.
really, really hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, just look at
Yeah.
this wave 10 send, right? Drachir sends 420 Mythium on 10, which is both obscene and slightly impressive at the same time. And I mean, Isolde send wasn't exactly small either, 380 there
Yeah.
against Kingdanzz. Like, big leaks come out, they lose 40% of their King HP. Widderson is forced to stay on 10 workers for the entire early game, and he can't really push off the back of it either because he didn't get any gold from the wave.
Yeah, his early game build was just tough. Like,
Mhm.
no clear like synergies or like clear power spikes you could get besides the coiler, and he just had a lot of combined weak waves between his units, so couldn't
Yeah.
like couldn't hold, and having Fiesta send him was not helpful either since the sends were just so huge.
Yeah.
And basically, I feel like that matchup of the Fiesta into their castle was. I mean, I don't know if they had like some perfect read, but it basically gave them the advantage that won them the game.
Yeah, definitely. It's really interesting how the mastermind options pair off against each other like that, right? Like Fiesta, Cartel, both very aggressive masterminds, and particularly with Fiesta, you're guaranteeing long waves more or less because you're trying to leak some of the waves, and that's just really unfavorable to the castle player, who is kind of just hoping for the early game to be over as quickly as possible so that they can get their mid-game power spike and then kind of catch up by around wave 14, I believe. That's how the simple math works. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's looking good.
Math looking good. We'll have to check that one with Kingdanzz maybe after the game. All right, are the people ready?
Switching the send order. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
So the losing team gets to choose the send order, and they have swapped it around. So Kingdanzz says he wants to receive the sends from Drachir, and Widderson says he wants to receive the sends from Isolde. But either way, I mean, you're not going to get an easy ride receiving sends from either of these two players, I don't think.
Nope. And I wonder, will they just play standard for this next game? I don't think Isolde has a Fiesta in him, so...
No. Really cool, actually. Really cool to see Drachir busting out the Fiesta in his very first game of the semis. Like, respect. That's a nice style pick, you know?
Doesn't really play it that much on ladder, but he's always ready to cook with it, so...
Yeah. Okay, guys. Game number 2. Here we go. There is a 1-0 advantage on the side of Big Bro Lil Bro. So, Tomato Boys, they need to win this game if they want to have a chance of staying in the tournament.
And they're running it back.
Yeah, Castle and Chaos again for Widderson and Kingdanzz.
And yeah, it looks like Drachir and Genome are just playing standard. Cartel agreed.
Yeah, I think the castle is a lot better this game because no aggressive spells and investment. Well, I mean counterattack, but not really like it's not a super aggressive spell.
Yeah, it's more of like a 12 spell than an 11 spell, really.
Yeah.
And Drag has a pretty clean early game role.
Yeah.
Lots of potential power spikes with the bunk, getting the bunk out or getting the harb.
I mean, the Gate Guard Steed is really solid, yeah. And he even has the Serpent there to cover him on wave 4, right? Where his role is otherwise looking pretty weak. So he's going to go for a build order like... a snail? Into Kingdanz's... No. The snail is going into the shroom.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, man. This can be dangerous with Kingdanzz on Chaos. He's not guaranteed a playable unit on wave 2 when he leaks half the wave here on wave 1. This can be very dangerous. And yeah, it's going to be a long wave while Widderson's playing 2 worker, Castle, Sakura. This is a rough one already for the Tomato Boys.
Drachir is just on top of it.
Yeah. Big Bro reading the game very well here, it seems.
Yeah, he has a buckler, so I think he'll be okay.
Yeah.
But it definitely doesn't help your early game when you leak this.
67% is a not too shabby leak, and of course, it's really favouring Drachir and Isolde both on 5 workers, while Widderson only has 3.
Yeah, and definitely
it's a bit
disadvantage.
dangerous on 3, right? With Sakura and Castle. I don't know, maybe he gets enough money from this leak so he can afford the 2 seedlings so he can hold the 60, but usually you can't.
I mean, he's getting another snail send here, which means he's going to be kind of relieving the pressure somewhat.
Yeah. Should be okay with just the buckler. I mean, Poly if he wants it.
I don't hate playing the Poly as well because it's so good on wave 3 and wave 4.
It looks like he's going to build both. I mean, Drachir is actually very close to sending 40, so...
Yeah. That's respectable. Now, of course, Isolde holding his snail send. He's just going to go 7 workers now with the flower, pretty sure.
Yeah, he should, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is he? Okay, he is.
Maybe not. I mean, he doesn't have a great answer for next, right?
Yeah, I think the safe school of thought is to just stay 6 workers. But...
It looks like he's playing it safe, yeah. I would have liked to see the 7th worker, though. Just really hammer home that advantage while Widderson's on his slow Sakura build.
income for everyone. Widder's saving. But yeah, like you said, he does get the 2 seedlings if he wants, so should be safe from this 60 send if it is going to be a full send.
We are
It doesn't
seeing
even get the 60.
3 DTs sent here on wave 3, though I don't expect to see any leaks. Maybe Julian, if you could do the soundboard on us.
It's not on. Not on the server, fam, and I
Ah,
don't have
unlucky.
the money for Nitro. It's only on Toykan server.
Unlucky.
Oh, that is unlucky, huh?
All right, so Isolde, he did stay on 6 workers. Right, he goes to 7 now, of course, after getting the DT
Yeah.
send.
He'll be just fine with consort.
Yeah,
and
you
then
can add
he
a
has
single
the
consort.
Sea Dragon for 5, so his build has some pretty nice waves coming up.
And Kingdanzz, it looks like he's doing fine. I do think, though, that if Drachir had added a snail to his DT, we might have seen a pretty decent leak out of King.
Yeah, it's looking very close to being. The DT would have been so good against the Devilfish.
And Lil Bro, it looks like he's just going for his income scaling. He's just sending DTs every wave. He's not going to be breaking the Sakura of Widderson, though. And that is kind of dangerous because we talked about Widderson being on this slow opener. But if he's just kind of fed the entire game with income sends on every wave, that's going to enable him to overcome that disadvantage and really set himself up for success in the mid game.
Yeah, I think he played Castle Sakura 2 or 3 times yesterday, and every game it looks like he was in a very good spot from his early game. So he's definitely very used to playing just like super slow with this opener.
I think it's one of the best openings you can get with Castle. It's so strong. Quacker had it yesterday with me as well, and it was the easiest game we had in the entire tournament.
Yeah. It's very,
It feels
very slow,
horrible
of
to play
course.
against.
Yeah. Very, very slow, but you do have the advantage of that plus 15 value every single wave, and that clearly overcomes Castle's lack of income.
Yeah, and Drachir is trying to take advantage of it. He's already 9 workers, and we saw this. I think we saw a similar interaction in the last Nova Cup finals where Widderson also had the low worker Sakura, and Drach was just 14 workers on 7 or something like that. So we'll see if he's gonna keep up that giga aggressive push.
Yeah. Now, he's not just playing Sakura Castle, he's playing Sakura Angler Castle, which I think might be about the slowest build possible in the game. So that's an interesting one. We'll have to see if he can pull it off. He's going to be very, very weak on Wave 7. He has got a casket in his role.
Would assume he already pre-built for it.
Yeah. I think he's gonna add Casket and a stack for this wave, right?
Big Bro, Lil Bro, both on 10 workers. Yeah, and Widderson is correctly reading the Wave 7 send. He builds the casket. He can't afford to stack it. Does he just shift the 90 gold?
It's pretty risky. Not sure if he's...
Yeah, he's not good this wave either.
Oh, yeah. He can just sell the seedling.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
probably the correct choice.
Okay, so he goes for the stacked casket. He's on 650 value for Wave 6, by far the highest value in the game. Yeah, Drachir.
is very high pushed. But the question is, like, this send on Wave 7 has to work for Drachir and Isolde. Like, if Kingdanzz and Widder don't take king damage, then, or like massive king damage, then I favor them to win.
Yeah, they just need to not bleed too much. I mean, it is going to be the mimics, I'm assuming, yeah. So,
Kingdanzz doesn't
is-
reach 120, and they both save,
Save.
actually. This is bold here from Kingdanzz and Widderson, deciding to save past the Wave 7.
Yeah.
They have to know this end is coming here.
Iron Maiden is good, but I don't know if it's that good.
Yeah, Iron Maiden,
It can kill a lot of the wave,
pretty
probably,
good on
but-
7, but the rest of his value is really, really bad.
Yeah, and King got the Canopy without sending, but the Mimic is pretty good versus these tanks for the Canopy, so
Yeah.
let's see how it goes.
All right, 180 Mythium apiece. We see the Mimic chewing away in Kingdanz's lane. It's collecting a bit of gold, not too much, honestly.
Yeah, kind of whiffed, but it's
6
still
gold
struggling. But
Mimic.
it is going to be a leak.
Widderson is doing very, very well. He looks like he's killing nearly all of the wave. He will, of course, leak to the Mimic. 50% leak there for Widderson, 70% for Kingdanzz. We have a 12 gold Mimic in King's lane and a 9 gold Mimic in Widderson's lane. They're going to take a bunch of King damage here, but it could have been much worse.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it'll be worth it if their counterpunch is better.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's
But
going
I
to be a pack and
And
income.
income send from Widderson.
I think Drachir might be able to hold the income.
I think with
I
that
think he
banana
can always
bunk,
hold it.
yeah, Drachir's going to be fine.
Let's see how Genome has decent answers. I mean, his tank value is suspicious, so if this mommy doesn't get full stacks, he could be in some trouble.
Yeah, the pack leader's really good against what Genome has as well, right? Because sure, he's going to kill those snails very quickly, but then the disciples have got a pack leader to deal with, and that is a big fortified boy.
Yeah.
Oh, the flower
And
is
the
on the
pack leader.
wave, but it dies very quickly, so it almost doesn't matter. Slime Mommy is not getting full mana, so she won't
Yeah.
get that value. And now it's just down
Gonna
to
be a
two
leak.
disciples. They do split tank, but not perfectly. And this is a pretty decent leak on Isolde. Yeah, he does get one final creep, 50%. I think he's fine with that, especially
Yeah.
with Drachir covering. Not just holding his lane, but he has like half his units still alive in the mid.
Yeah, and the best part of that is they also were able to save, and now they have a gigantic pressure lead, a worker
Yeah.
lead.
Yeah. They are
And
massively on fire, of course.
Wave 10 is
whoa.
coming.
25 gold each, and just look at the win percentage as well. Jules is giving a 70% chance for Drachir and
That's
Isolde
crazy.
to win game number 2. So yeah, I mean, looking at all of those metrics, they're ahead in workers. They're pretty much on par in terms of value, and they're way ahead in terms of Mythium stored as well. Like, this is looking kind of rough for King and Widderson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they luckily have answered. They both have Zerker for an all-important wave 10, so
Hmm.
Oh,
we'll
King
see.
shifted. He's gonna have Theta.
Yeah, like, do they have the right read and just skip here?
They
Because they
may
aren't.
skip.
They're super pushed, and it feels like they do need to send in order to not leak themselves.
Yeah.
Because they're both like barely 1,000 value, which with not the best units on 10, so they are
They
gonna
said-
Do
send.
go for ascend. Okay, and Kingdanzz will get that Fatalizer out. That's very solid for him here on wave 10. He should just hold with that, right? He's got good tanks as
Yeah.
well with the Devilfish, with the
Yeah.
Buckler. I think he's going to be fine. There's a lot of spam coming out from Drachir, obviously hoping
Yeah.
to keep that Fatalizer away from the boss.
The thing about the
Widderson,
spam is that it lets the mimic get focus, which is the only damage source on the Theta.
yeah.
So it can be a mixed bag of like keeping the Theta off, but then losing your best answer to the Theta this way.
This is really important here because, I mean, they need to hold, right? They just need to be able to hold these sends. The Mimic is dying instantly here in Kingdanz's lane, as are all of the other sends. The Fatalizer now on the boss, he's just going to hold and then
Yeah.
some. Like, he's going to hold with a pretty healthy Fatalizer, I think. Widderson, meanwhile, he's going to leak, but he's not doing too badly, honestly. This was a 300 Mythium send for Widderson. He leaks a low HP boss and 2 snails. He's very happy with that. Kingdanz full holding. He's going to cover in the mid as well. Meanwhile, as you were saying, Bernt, Drachir and Isolde, they both leak to their very small sends from Kingdanz and Widderson. So these guys are just back in the game now.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
look at the incomes.
Yeah. And look at Jules' win percent chance as well. It's gone from being 70-30 to neck and neck. 54% for Drachir and Isolde.
Chaos maybe bailing King out a little bit there,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
yeah, the Theta is just such a good answer in a 10 game.
Yeah.
It's triple investment. I would assume the Sakura player doesn't have to pick investment here, but or the
think he
castle
should.
player, sorry. But it would scale his income the highest, and if it is going to be a long save after this, it's probably the most value.
There is investment. He doesn't get the second Sakura for this wave. I think he doesn't have to with his anglers
Yeah.
and stuff.
And I'm assuming we're gonna just see something like 14. Like people have some decent incomes.
Could be a
I think
14 send, yeah. Maybe one team
13
even
looks
risks it with
appealing.
15.
Yeah, against Drachir especially, 13 would be nice, and Genome isn't amazing there, but not bad, and it would protect the 14 from where King doesn't look the best. But obviously, I have no idea what King's role is going to be on 14.
Yeah. Nobody does, not even King.
Yeah. I think Kingdanzz and Widderson are very aware of Drachir and Isolde pushing really hard for the mid game last time and getting away with it because they went income king on 14 in a sense.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see them either like double down on holding the send or double down on like actually leaking them with
Right.
a proper send as well.
I mean, this is insane. He's just
Yeah,
he
chilling
has
on value.
investment on his board. He has investment as his Legion spell, and he has
He's got
chilling.
some scaling, yeah. But he's also on the lowest workers in the game. You have to remember.
Yeah. That is always the downside of the early game. Like even if you catch up in income, you're probably behind in workers with
Yeah.
Castle.
His
Unless
Castle
you know, of
power
course, you
spike
had a
has
god
kicked
game.
in well and proper. He is now on the top of the power score chart, so he's done something right.
He snuck past everyone.
When
And
they
he's
weren't
highest
looking.
value. By far, he's actually highest value. 2,500.
Oh, I've got some hot news coming in from the other semi-final, by the way. Adams and Chuvis, the sweaty tryhards, they did triumph over Shadowwings and Shay, so the sweaty tryhards will be playing the grand finals
Ooh.
versus the winner of this semi-final here.
That'll be a juicy match, whoever it is. And I mean, Drachir again is the lowest value, highest workers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I'm not sure it's good for him this time because he will get a full send and Widderson can probably hold his full send, which is where
Widderson's
Castle is strongest now.
Widderson's still overvalued, right? Like he's the only player with a plus sign next to his value.
He is going to be on value again, I think.
Yeah, with
After
the send, he
sending,
should be on value. Yeah.
Pretty much.
And so King is probably going to leak, but I mean, he rolled Canopies again, which is pretty good. He has a tantrum, but neither kind of wrecks him.
Is Widderson just going to make a 75 mana Kingpin here, or is he going to go for more casket action, do you think?
I think he could even go for Tree of Life on his...
Yeah, Tree of Life here is his best, but...
Actually, Junimo already sent them all 4 eyes, so actually the caskets would be pretty good value versus that, but obviously you can't have the soul read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh, he's wasting the Tree of Life spot.
So big sends all around. We've got 480 for Drachir, 520 for Isolde, 620 for Kingdanzz, and 500 for Widderson. Is anybody going to hold? And if so, why is it Widderson?
It feels that way. He is plus 62.
His
so
Sovereign dies very, very quickly, though. It didn't get good value out of that ability at all. It looks like he's doing very well. Drachir leaking 59%, Isolde leaking 66%, Kingdanzz leaks 74%, but it's only a very small leak for the King, and Widderson does leak 71%, but it's only really 2 4-eyes. Now, I don't think this really favours either team.
Yeah, it's kind of just a mixed bag here. I mean, they have slightly more King-ups on the side of the King and Widder.
Yeah, but it looks like a fairly even trade, right? Like, they got more damage mercs through on the side of Big Bro Lil Bro. So as a result, the Tomato Boys are on 25% HP. Oh, and Drachir's pushing really hard.
Sui push. And
Instant
King
Sui push
is Sui pushing back.
Okay. I see. Genom has Flower, so they want to end it on 16.
Yeah, and they're Giga pushing into maybe just, I mean, like, Widder doesn't have great damage there so far, so if you send some 4-eyes, you should be leakable either way, even if it's just the 4-eyes getting through.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, if Widder can hold with this unit alive, he insta-full covers.
Yeah,
like, It's so absurd.
Oh, it's gonna be a race, because I don't see Genom holding with his push, even with Flowers against the Sui from King. And Widder will
Drachir's full pushing.
Because he...
Oh. But Kingdanzz is pushing as well. So Kingdanzz and Widderson, they have the favourable suicide lineup. And they know.
He's also...
They know now because Drachir's leaking no send.
Yeah.
He gets a lot more gold for his Sui push.
Yeah. This is really favouring the Tomato Boys now. They've been able to pull this game back from the brink. I mean, it's not over yet. It can still go either way with these massive sends coming out wave 16.
Yeah, you never know, but I would have to favor the team with more value.
Yeah, value is strong. Value is strong. And crucially as well, they deal a little bit of king damage there to the no send from Drachir. So like now the king HPs are looking really close. They're not even guaranteed to win a race, right?
That was the fastest split cell I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
but
select all, deleted it.
He has to do it. He
but
has to
still,
do it.
it's
I see.
Suicider sending into
Yeah.
Holder and
Yeah.
Suicider sending into Suicider. So
I mean,
And-
Kingdanzz
and-
and Widderson should have this.
They should have this. And like, sure, Isolde has death caps, but he also has 3.5k value on 16, while Widderson has 600, 700 more value than Isolde. I don't see how Big Bro Lil Bro can win this one.
Yeah, it's 3 red values, so
Yeah.
and 1 normal value. So
Widderson's
you would hope
basically
the
on
normal
value.
can pull
This
through.
is the crucial lane now. We need to watch Isolde. Is he going to leak before Widderson, or is Widderson even going to leak at all? He's looking comfortable over there. Kingdanzz and Drachir, of course, both leaking very
Yeah.
quickly. And Lil Bro, he was not able to hold on long enough. And Widderson, I mean, he's holding. He's not going to full hold, but he's going to leak very slowly. Meanwhile, Big Bro, Lil Bro, these leaks are reaching your king. You have 34% HP, and I think that's all she wrote. 1-1. The series is tied.
Yeah, I mean, they had the right read, King and Witter. And I mean, the theory of Drachir Suicide makes sense because Jadam could hold 16 better. In theory, his units are better there, but
Yeah.
if they had the read as well on King and Witter that, King needs to Sui into Isolde because he has the better 16 build, then you want to do it the other way around.
Yeah, but I think like Drachir just had no chance of holding 16, right? His units
Yeah,
are
his
really
units are
bad there.
horrible.
His tanks are Banana Haven, which is garbage on 16. He has the Pegasus, he has the Harbinger. Like, there was no chance that Drachir was going to hold the longest on 16. So I think they played to their outs. But Kingdanzz and Widderson, they knew what their outs were, right? Like at this level, it's all about the mind reading and the play over play. And in this case, Kingdanzz and Widderson, their play triumphed over the play of Big Bro Lil Bro. And yeah, they've tied the series, guys. We will get a game number 3.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
pretty spicy. I mean, that game came all about that wave 10. Like Drachir and
Yeah,
Isolde
right.
committed really hard. Like they had no chance to skip.
Hmm.
Because they were so pushed. So, unfortunately, double Feta or 1 Feta and a Zerker hiding there.
Yeah.
Stuff.
They
Kingdanzz.
did that for Wave 7 already. Like for Wave 7,
Yeah,
they
true.
already super pushed, and if King and Widder don't skip 7, they are ahead already. So Janum and Drachir took the same risk twice, and
Mhm.
one time it paid off for Wave 7, but it didn't pay off on 10, and
Mhm.
then King and Widder were instantly ahead.
Yeah. And Drachir actually fed a shutdown on 10 as well, right? Because Widderson, for once, I think for the first time this game, didn't send income on wave 10. He went with that. He went with that safety mole, which is just the perfect unit against the banana bunk and the atoms on wave 10. It just gave the boss. It gave the boss so much like survivability that Drachir just had no chance of holding, especially not with his value there. And yeah, that was a 25 gold shutdown. That was a bunch of king damage and a ton of gold going back for Kingdanzz and Widderson, who were looking in a really rough spot up to this point in the game. And it just gave them that opportunity to like get back into the game, right?
Yeah, and gave them that 14 match where everyone took king damage. No one really came out ahead, and then
Yeah,
that's they found the next spot after that, which was the all important 16. So really
Yeah.
nice game from them.
very, very
That's
solid
the
play
thing.
there.
The thing is with King and Widder, if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. This is how the very good teams play. Once they get like something they can work with, like a small advantage, they will just giga extend it, and then you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
All right,
Yeah,
we
I
have
mean,
got a lobby available as well, so it looks like game number 3 will be going very quickly.
I feel like the amount of times that I've played versus King and Witter on ladder, and like they do something completely stupid on like 3 or 4, like just leak the whole way for fun, and then you're just like, oh, I can't lose this game, and then you just lose the game anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I may have lost a game to Kingdanzz earlier on ladder where I was very far ahead, and yeah,
And
stuff
that-
happened.
I mean, that's just it, right? You can't afford to make a single mistake at this level of play. Like the opponents are pretty much guaranteed to be good enough to capitalize if you do. And Kingdanzz and Widderson, the Tomato Boys, they were in a really rough spot. They were down to 30% win chance according to the Jules' automated metrics. But, you know, all it took was that wave 10 swing in their favor. They're straight back in the game, and they capitalized on it hard.
Yeah, let's see what they do now without the... Are they just gonna roll swap? Let King play some Castle and Widder play some Chaos?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we have Drachir back on that cartel, so he does want to go for the strong early game play. Isolde is on greed, so he's just playing vanilla.
Greed and Kingdanzz. Show us something?
Cartel. Okay, so
pardon.
we have matching masterminds here in game number 3. Neither team wanting to go for a particularly risky play style. They're just going to solidify their early games with those cartels, while Widderson and Isolde, I mean, just going straight middle of the road greed, right? You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. There's some super powerful synergies with the Flying Phoenix, the Ocean Templar Gates, APS Doomsday.
Oh, yeah, man. These are some
Butcher's
spicy rolls for
Sov,
game
I
number
guess,
3.
But
These are some
Yeah,
really
Pota
spicy rolls.
opening
yeah.
with Buzz, if you want. Oh, he doesn't. Oh, he goes for the atoms instead
Okay.
of Green Devil Consort? Okay. Reasonable, I suppose. Ah, with the
He,
gargoyle.
he
it's
also
very
has
good.
the buzz, but yeah, he doesn't want to play it here.
Maybe just looking to get a 6 workers treat out early.
Yeah, I think it's fine, especially with Kingdanzz going Windhawk and gonna leak on one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Drachir never snails him again here, right? He did in... Oh, no, he's king upped already. Never mind.
Yeah. So only King is saving onto the Green Devil.
What a tryhard.
Not gonna do much considering that he can just build a Harpy and a Buzz, I guess, or something. So he should be fine versus DT if he wants to.
Yeah, he will be fine, but it forces him to stay 4 workers, which you don't really want to be with
Mhm.
Green Devil.
And maybe Widder will take advantage of that and just go 6 workers.
I think that's their plan. That's
Mhm.
why Kingdanzz is doing the saving, and Widder is playing atoms because he can get the 6 workers with the gargoyle.
Yeah, I like that. Even setting up for each other in at the very start.
Yeah.
And King actually just completely ditched the APS Doomsday idea and just playing for his early game.
It's classic Kingdanzz, right? He loves to play for his early game.
Mm-hmm.
He's got very solid early game units there as well. The Windhawk, the Serpent, the Sea Dragon, and the Polywog as well is fantastic early game. It's my favourite tier 1 for the early game.
Yeah, it's so flexible with the Seraphim being good damage and then swapping over to being good tank, and then you can have a range split. Like everything you could want.
Yep. Now, Isolde was forced to stay on 4 workers here because Kingdanzz skipped wave 1, but because of that, it looks like he's got a pretty comfortable hold here against the DT send, and he's going to be able to push 6 workers now with no pressure against him.
Yeah, and Widder just opting to stay 5 workers, and probably the right call considering that he can get a
60,
60 here. So now that
But it's close.
yeah, Genome does get the slight advantage now. 6 workers.
Yeah, and he's safe on every wave now, right? He's just gonna have either Consort or even Sky Queen very soon, and then he'll be safe until, like, I don't know, wave 9 or something, where he will just pop out the gate and then be safe.
I think the
Yeah,
first
I suppose
wave that
this
he's
is-
really weak is maybe like wave 7 versus a Mimic or something like this.
Yeah, that does look like a potential vulnerability considering he won't have a lot of fortified. Well, he'll have it precisely 0 fortified units.
And all 4 players taking their income here on wave number 3, so no aggression really to write home about. But we do see players pushing hard. 7 worker Drachir, 7 worker Kingdanzz, so both cartel players pulling ahead as expected from the mastermind.
And Genome not getting the Sky Queen here, but probably shifting this, I would imagine, to get the Sky Queen next. So pretty clean build, like we mentioned.
And yeah, he's going to shift that 52 gold there just to guarantee. With the Consort, he's almost guaranteed to be able to hold anything that King can send him, and King can only send a 60, which he doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
King pretty risky here, but his units are so broken. So
Yeah.
very,
Devilfish.
very safe here.
I mean, Devilfish just showcasing exactly what I mean about Polywog being the best tier 1 in the early game, right? It's like, it's the perfect tank on wave 4, it's the perfect damage on wave 5 and 6. It's just a really versatile unit.
Yeah, now he probably gets Violet if he sends, so
And
his
he
build
does.
is gonna have basically no weaknesses.
Yeah, there's that
It's a
Violet.
classic Kingdanzz build. An answer for every wave.
But Drachir and Jenem are already going for the tee. They are
Yeah.
setting up to hit a wave together. I don't know which wave yet. Maybe wave 7,
Seven?
maybe
Yeah.
wave 8.
I think
But
7
they are
so far.
definitely saving their Mythium. I don't know if
Yeah.
7 is so good against the Atoms and the Coiler. I think wave 8 is better, but it's
Yeah,
so far.
could be promising. I think versus the Atoms, like, I know Aviator would always just go straight 7 versus Atoms. Well, not
Yeah.
straight, but he really liked just setting Mimic versus the Atom builds.
I actually think 7 is better against Coiler than Wave 8 is because, sure, it two-shots the wave creeps, but it does the same on Wave 8, and meanwhile, the little tiny slime blobs, they really distract the
true.
Coiler, right?
Yeah, they do. I don't know what they're planning, but wave 7... I don't know. Kingdanzz is
doing
gonna have
some-
a Badger, right?
Yeah, his gold is a little awkward here. I mean, he could sell for Coiler. Yeah, okay.
He does, but he's going to
I
have
feel
to
like if
income
he gets-
send to get that Badger out, right?
Yeah, if you feel like if he gets Badger, he's doing pretty good. If
He
not
has to.
holding with some nice aggro.
And Widderson, he correctly reads this. Okay, I was going to say he's about to full shift 180 gold, but he does not. He's going to build a second Green Devil here. I'm kind of
He
worried
needs
about
80.
his positioning, though.
His atoms are very vulnerable.
Yeah,
to
his atoms
range
are going to
sends.
die, right?
Like a Cannoneer. Well, I'm assuming you're probably not going to send Cannoneer, but I actually do think a Cannoneer just kills these atoms.
Kingdanzz needs 80 in income, else he's fucked.
He
Doesn't get the Butter Badger, but he
does
does
get 80 income, yeah.
Some slow holds from Jim, and
I mean, he has to send the Dino.
Yeah.
But he does, and now he perfectly gets the Butter Badger.
notably, it also perfectly gave Genome the Mimic, so...
Yeah.
Well,
So a
helping
mixed
both
bag.
teams, honestly.
A
Yeah.
mixed bag there.
And he's
we
gonna
do.
try and snipe the Mimic? Like, have the Mimic go left here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is.
I think that's his plan, and the Mimic is gonna go for the Violet after killing the Devilfish, hopefully for him. And then
If his Serpent can split tank some of the wave for the Violet, like, that could be really nice aggro, because the Badger will stay alive forever versus Split.
Yeah. Now this is going to be really
Oh.
clutch because the Serpent might just go on the Lizard and then immediately on the Mimic. We'll have to see. No, the wave wraps around. The Mimic is protected. So that will be a decent leak, I think, out of the King.
Badger
And meanwhile,
not tanking.
Widderson, so his atoms are both alive. That's very clutch because that's his only damage on this wave.
Yeah, the thing about his build is that he has triple Green Devil now. And
Yeah.
he's still leaked on his Arcane Wave.
He
so-
has 3 Green Devils. You don't really want three Green Devils ever, apart from maybe on wave 15. And now, yeah, his build is not ideal. They're taking a ton of King damage here.
I mean,
Oh,
it's
that
more of the
sucks.
same, but we saw how they're able to recover last game, so
Yeah,
we'll see what's the angle, because Genome is super pushed, and same with Drachir.
yeah, they have a
And-
pretty comfortable worker lead on the side of Big Bro Lil Bro. And I think their builds are just developing better as well. Like Kingdanzz, his build is looking kind of fine, but Widderson, he has 3 Green Devils, 2 Atoms, and a Consort. Like, this is... It is
pretty good
not
on
the build
14th
that
again.
Widderson wants to have in game number 3 of the semi-final, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
maybe he'll be able to get out the Avenger for 9, but honestly, if he gets a full sun on 9, he could be in some trouble.
Yeah.
oh yeah, certainly. And I think, like, this was mispositioning from King. He needed to have the Badger higher up. The Badger didn't tank enough on 7.
Yeah, the Lizard Sen honestly, like, screwed up the idea of trying to kill the Mimic.
Yeah.
Just forced it onto the no shot of sniping it, and then the Badger is obviously a lot worse if it's the last alive.
Yeah. We have another income send
Income.
from King and Widder.
They
Nothing
save
yet
or-
from Drachir and Isolde. No, they do send here.
Alright,
Oh,
okay.
wait. Isolde, didn't he have Mimic in income? Because I see he's got 50 now.
Just went for the mole, which is kind of redundant considering what the wave does to
Yeah,
ranged
I feel like the Mimic was just better here against what Widderson has on board. Maybe he's expecting something like a Bunk or a Mudman, but
units. I won't discount the fact that mole actually does do a good amount of damage, but I think if you're expecting a fortified like tank or something, you can send just damage or like higher damage marks.
And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like brutes on wave 9 are often not the best send. I don't know, they don't seem to do
They're
too
already
well,
starting to
especially
drop off
against,
at this point, right?
yeah,
They're very
especially
good for
against King.
single
I'm
target.
not so
But...
sure if like
Oh,
King just holds
they're
this,
both
right?
doing
I
really
think
well.
he's fine.
Widderson's doing fantastically as well. Yeah,
He's
King, that's
sniping
that's
the
an easy
Voodoo
hold for
Doom.
him. And
Yeah,
Widderson, his Avenger does pop off there, not too much, but he's very happy with this. With 200 Mythium Send, he leaks 33%, and Kingdanzz is going to cover.
Yeah, and basically we're reset the game again. No one getting a clear advantage out of that.
I mean, I would
Obviously,
say
Witter
this
is a
is
bit.
a clear advantage for Kingdanzz and Widderson, actually, because they got a tryhard send while they did a round of Income King themselves. So they've been able to close that income gap, and they didn't take any more King damage, crucially.
Yeah, considering that they're playing the same masterminds, we can more closely just like compare them. King
Yeah,
is a little ahead and has 2 worker lead now, and Witter is a little behind, but 2 workers behind as well. So very close
yeah.
game.
Very, very close game. I mean, yeah, sure, he's 2 workers ahead of Drachir, but Drachir has 100 gold pretty much in the bank as well. So
Yeah.
it's just, they have the same amount of resources basically for Drachir and Kingdanzz. It's just that King has decided to spend his on workers and Drachir is opting to build next wave instead.
Yeah, I wonder what their plans are, because King is pretty low value for next wave without a
He's
send.
doing what he used to do very often back in the day, which is either Dark Ritual or Loan. So you push very hard for 10 and then recover the value via the
Oh,
defensive spell.
he leaks the no
But I
send
don't
though.
think he wants to leak the no send here.
No.
Yeah.
Because recovering that value is a little bit harder when you just lose 30 gold here on the leaked boss.
He's not sending.
Yeah, that's why
okay.
he's gonna take Dark Ritual and then.
Oh, okay, he'll be close to value.
fine.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
There's no offensive spell anyways. Or? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why he's doing it. He just wants to get the most amount of scaling from his workers, and this is how you get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the best way to recover from Cartel. So Glacial for both Drach and Isolde. Pretty solid.
I wonder if we see a Magician pick up for Widderson. Probably not, right? Because, I mean, he doesn't have a great use for it. Maybe he can drop it on the
Are they just going to double Dark Ritual at the last second? Because he's shifting 295 gold for the
Yeah, he's
gonna
do this. Yeah.
Okay,
Double
the classic.
ritual.
I mean, that's a little small micro optimization that a lot of people don't do, to be honest. Like, just calculate how much gold you're going to have and then do everything at the last second.
Yeah.
But now they can see the double Dark Ritual, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure,
So they'll know that the value is decent, but they're still going to go for the sends.
Anyway, yeah. And the Avenger Sovereign upgrade that Widderson just made here, I mean, sure, it's a good unit, especially with lifesteal, but it's really weak on wave 12.
Yeah, so more Income King, so more of the same, really. I mean, King is still... I feel like his units do not inspire confidence in a hold, personally, but...
No.
Yeah. And even with the Dark Ritual, he's still really far behind in value. Widderson, what do you have?
I mean,
he's going to sell a boss for another Wanderer.
That's his problem, right?
Yeah, he's got good tanks, and the send is not really big coming out from Isolde. It's only a 4 eyes and a mole.
Zero damage.
His atoms need to stay alive. Like, unironically, these atoms are his only damage on the wave. So do they stay alive? And one of them, it looks like, is going down. So that's...
Unless? Oh.
Yeah, and this one...
next one is dead to the split,
Is this one dying to the
assuming.
split? It is. Both of his highest damage units are dead.
Sovereign, show us something?
Kingdanzz, he's leaking comfortably 90%. Widderson's Sovereign does pop off, but it's not enough. It's 95%. I think the game's just over.
Yeah, they're dead.
Wow, Drachir and Isolde taking this one in storming fashion, 2-1 against the Tomato Boys. Widderson not happy with that loss, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I mean, his role is very, very... There's nothing happening at his role.
Yeah, his role is pretty bad this time around.
I don't know. It wasn't that bad, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
should we play the sound? Should we play the sound, Penny?
Yes. I mean, it's sure the roll's not ideal, right? But like, if they'd maybe read the wave 7's end perfectly, Widderson could have shifted. I thought he was shifting on wave 6, remember? But he went for that last second Green Devil on wave 6 instead.
Yeah.
And as a result, he couldn't afford the Avenger on 7. And the whole game could have turned out really differently if he had that power unit out on wave 7. He may still have leaked against the Mimic, but he would have done so much better than he did with 3 Green Devils, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
another problem though is just the fact that he has no. I mean, him and King actually both have no good pierce damage in their role for later. Like the Coiler is very high DPS, but it's just too vulnerable to be considered like a true pierce DPS unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they both have that glaring weakness on 12.
Yeah, and you could already, the problem with Widder and King's builds is like that you can kind of already see their weakness on wave 7 coming up by like wave 3. So then you can already start aiming for the Mimic on 7.
Yeah.
Where you can get a lot of damage. The only way where it really doesn't work if one of them has Growl and Bunk, so they can Growl on 6 and get Bunk out for 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they did not have those answers, and so the quote-unquote gamble for the Mimic on 7 worked out, and then you're just playing from behind.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, King's Giga Push to 17, like, ended up, I mean, it's
Hurting.
yeah,
it
like
was bad.
100 value and then forcing the DR and then taking DR and not holding. Like, in retrospect, if you expect a 12 Glacial there is, like, quite good. Obviously, it might not save them, but it is very efficient on that wave, especially against the send of, like, Imps or something.
Yeah, Glacial is a really strong spell on the on wave 12 for sure. And you know, maybe if King had a couple less workers, 100 more value, who knows?
Yeah, it's definitely hard to say though. Like I can see the vision in his play was definitely there.
I think he feels they are kind of far behind, so he has to try something. And this is one of the plays that can sort of bring them back if Drachir and Isolde don't push as much or don't go full or save
Send on
one
11.
more wave. Yeah.
Like, because
Then this
honestly,
can definitely work.
the Butcher Solve is actually very good on 11.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of like small hits and generates like 1,000,000 mana, and then it can go off and out heal the wave.
Yeah.
It just does no damage on 12, unfortunately.
It's a really bad unit on 12, yeah. It's impact against a swift wave, it's swift armor against a pierce wave, and it's just doomed, right? Like, we saw that there. Widderson just had no chance. Even though he's on really good value, like, he's a 20-50 value there. He's receiving a fairly small send from Lil Bro, but it's just not enough. And Kingdanzz obviously leaking the entire wave with his 17 worker push as well. Man, you hate to see it. You do have to feel bad for the Tomato Boys, but at the end of the day, Drachir and Isolde, they played this series extremely well, and as a result, they've earned their place in the grand final. So, guys, speaking of